What is going on? It is a great day. Buffalo, Kansas City, Tampa Bay, Detroit, NFL divisional games. We are loving it. Welcome to another show of Paying the Bills. I am the Nut. We are going to break down Detroit, Tampa Bay first. Let's get right into it. Detroit Lions 12 and 5, 6 and 2 at home, going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 9 and 8, 5 and 4 at home. 12 o'clock start for this game. First one up, you got -6. This game opened up at -6. It stands steady. Hasn't moved. 49.5 is the over-under. Opened up at 48.5. The over is the way I'd play. I don't really get into over-unders too much. I ain't the best over-under better. I don't like over-unders. There's too many different things that could come into factors and play on that. I will play an over under if it absolutely speaks to me, but that's what I do here. I try to get the bets that speak to me. We're trying to keep a win percentage above 60%. And hell, if we can do better than that, well, proof's in the pudding, huh? So here we go. We're going to break down this Detroit game. -6. That's too many points for the Lions. The Lions don't win games by a huge margin. Reason being is if they get up on a game, they tend to get a little bit tight. They don't hold their lead. They seem to try to go run, which is great to keep the ball from getting turned over. But Tampa Bay's run defense is stout. Both of these teams' run defense is stout. You can't run the ball against either of these teams very well. Even Kyron Williams, who was, on fire, he was having over 100 yards a game. He got held down by the Lions. Buccaneers held DeAndre Swift down. Game script didn't allow him to get into the game any faster, any more into the pass than you would. Obviously, when you're coming from behind, you have to pass. But when you're coming from a 32-9 deficit, you ain't going to be running as much anyway. Obviously, Carolina, New Orleans, Jacksonville, Green Bay, the opponents before that for the Buccaneers. The Lions, in their last 5, they faced the Rams, Minnesota, Dallas, Minnesota, and Denver. Now, the Rams game, Detroit was up. They were holding their own. They were holding steady, and they let the Rams back into it for a backdoor cover. I believe that spread was 3.5, 4.5. It bounced, and they ended up winning 24-23. I was on the Rams. The backdoor cover was completely. They should have lost that game, to tell you the truth. I don't have any feelings for the Rams whatsoever, but Detroit barely come away with that. That was a scary game for Detroit, I'm sure. Tampa Bay game against Philly was a walkthrough, so they weren't beat up versus Philly. They didn't exert all their energy, the way the Lions had to. I believe that the Lions spread way too big in this game. Way too big in this game. Even if Tampa Bay's behind, they're going to be able to get a backdoor cover on the end of the game. Let's take a look here right now. If you were to look at the rush defense for both of these teams, say that you're talking about Detroit being second, you're talking about Tampa Bay being fourth. 87 yards on the ground over the 2023 season with 72.7 in the last 3 for Detroit, while Tampa Bay's had 92 and 93. So they've been consistently allowing 90 yards a game, which is great. Good enough to come in fourth for the 2023 season. I mean, I favor the run game to Detroit. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know that the Tampa Bay run defense can be cracked. It leads me to think that there's going to be less rushing in this game, more passing. Obviously, that extends your clock, right? That extends your game. That extends your ability to get points. Makes me want to lean towards the over. The over in this game would be in play for me. I would also be thinking that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers haven't been the same team over their last 5 games, or I'm sorry, over their last 5 games compared to the beginning of the season. At the beginning of the season, Tampa Bay was complete trash against the pass. They were in the bottom. They were actually 32nd, 31st most of the season. After the last however many games that they've played since this turnaround, they went from 32nd to 27th. They were allowing 248 yards passing in the air prior to the turnaround on their defensive end. I don't know what that was attributed to. I don't follow that team that closely. I just know that in the last 3 games, they're allowing 168 yards per game. So in the last 3 games, when they went up against the likes of Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts and company, Carolina, and David Carr, well, you could expect the passing to be down. They also trounced on Jacksonville and won 30-12. And now that you look back on the Green Bay game 5 games ago, when they won 34-20 at Green Bay, you gotta give that win more respect than you did before. It seems that Green Bay had flipped a switch at that point. So I say all that to say that I'm on Tampa Bay, the +6. I would lean towards the over. I ain't gonna play those. I heavy lean towards Baker Mayfield's pass attempts. Baker Mayfield's gonna have to go to the air. I would also say the Detroit Lions are going to get into a shootout and have to pass with Goff more than they want to, right? I always want to lean towards a Goff interception, but I don't think I'm gonna on account of the fact that Tampa Bay's interception ratio isn't going to be. It doesn't speak to me. I just don't like Goff. I'll be honest with you. I just don't like when that guy, gets jittery in the pocket. And I believe that Todd Bowles is going to be bringing a blitz. That's going to keep him a little more uncomfortable. Well, when it breaks down, the I don't have the stats right here with me. Let's just say if you're going to player prop that, I would be looking at props in the passing attempts, the passing yards, and also I like interceptions. So I'd probably be leaning Tampa Bay +6 here. A great teaser would be Tampa Bay on the first leg, bringing them up to +12, getting them through the key number 7, going up obviously to 12. Give you that extra comfort of the points because Detroit ain't blowing nobody out. They don't seem to be. Let's put it back here. They played against Minnesota when Minnesota had that mash unit at quarterback. 30-20, they ended up beating them at home. At Dallas, 20-19 versus the Rams, 24-23. At Minnesota, they won 30-24, and versus Denver, that was their last blowout, 42-17. We've seen who Denver ended up being. Yeah. So Buccaneers last 5, not impressive. Philadelphia was dead in the water when they came to play them. It was 32-9 when they beat them. At Carolina, not impressed by that. 9-0. They did shut them out. That's impressive to shut any NFL team out, even if it is Carolina. Versus New Orleans, they lost 23-13. So you couldn't say that you're overly excited about. But Tampa Bay's playing with the same kind of house money that Green Bay was. Green Bay played looser yesterday. It makes me tend to lean towards the Buccaneers. Buccaneers going to be getting the points +6. They're going to be playing looser than the tight Lions. That atmosphere is going to be crazy. I understood that it was absolutely crazy in Detroit. So official play: Tampa Bay Buccaneers +6. Moving on. Next game. Next game up: Chiefs versus Bills. Y'all probably know who I'm on. You're going to say this guy's a homer. Unfortunately, I am not. I do not have confidence in my team because of my mash unit on defense. What we do have here is a battle of two teams very evenly matched. It always comes down to the wire with these two teams. The Buffalo Bills, it always comes down to the wire with whoever they're playing. They usually don't get blown out, and they usually play against good teams to barely win, right? there's a few examples you could lead to, right? Like they'll play down to their competition. They barely beat San Diego and Easton Stick, right? Like everybody remembers that against at Miami. You won 21-14, and versus Pittsburgh, you won 31-17. That was a surprise to me. Versus Pittsburgh, I actually thought that Pittsburgh was going to cover that point spread, but when it uh, when it all when it all unfolded, the defense came out of that unit just beat to hell. So we were already a mash unit on defense, and we are just getting our stuff together. So after hold on, that's that now. So after last week's game, you got to figure, the defense isn't going to be a stout. The problem that I'm having is the middle of the defense is the most beat up part. Benford was really good to have in there. He used to be a safety that converted to a linebacker, so he was smaller in size, but he hit like a truck. He came in and he held Kelsey pretty good. Kelsey got I believe like 8 receptions for 84 yards or something of that nature, but they were all like well earned yards. He wasn't getting them easily. So when we played last time, I believe that Mahomes and Josh Allen both had an interception. Josh Allen's interception is always a good bet. 14 out of 17 games, I believe. He's thrown an interception 15 out of 18. He seems to want to just press the issue with trying to fit a ball in the tight places. He's hopefully gets a little bit better at that for my sake. But the Chiefs coming in are going to have a little bit of the underdog mentality with a healthier squad. The offenses, I believe they match up just the same, right? There's times that our offense gets clunky and doesn't get moving, but whenever their offense is going against a good defense, they haven't been going so good. The problem that I'm having is Buffalo Bills is going to be putting out a defense that's got half of their starters out. Pro Bowl caliber starters in Milano and White, and then we started getting over the ability of losing them, and it turned out to be, good towards the end of the season for our defense. They were playing real good ball, but now with Bernard going out and geez, I'm gonna draw a blank on a couple of our other, our backup safety Rap and then our cornerback Benford. I believe we do get Rasul Douglas back today, so that's good. But it's going to be tough, right? To hold them down. So when I look at this game, I have to lean towards the Chiefs. I have to lean towards the Chiefs getting the plus points. I think it's 100% play on teaser, right? I'd say the first game would be harder to get home on that teaser with the Buccaneers plus 12. The ability, maybe they don't show up, maybe they don't match up good against the Lions, and the Lions end up giving them the business in that game, which I told you before that I don't see it happening, but anything happens on any given day in the football world, right? So I would say that you're gonna you're not going to go wrong in taking the Kansas City Chiefs and buying those points up to 9. If you're at +3, you might be at +2.5. Still, you get past the key number of 7, right? You're going up through both key numbers. Buffalo Bills aren't going to be, probably blowing people out with the defense not being able to hold down their offense. It's going to have to be an offensive shootout. I also lean Josh Allen's pass attempts over. I always do. He, anytime that there's an intense game where it's going to go back and forth, they seem to abandon the run, although we do have a new offensive coordinator who seemed to use the run, more. They're running the ball 46% of the time now. So, I hate to say it, I don't feel good about this game. I believe that Kansas City Chiefs is the play. I believe that the game will be a little bit more high scoring on account of the fact that our defense is out, but I don't have a lean on the over under whatsoever. My player prop leans, which I try to stay away from anymore, I try just to do sides and just the sides. I've had better luck with those. The player props I put into lotto tickets, right? You know, try to make a lot of money off of a little money, just barely sprinkling any change on an 8, 9, 10 teamer, you know. So seem to have a little bit of luck with those every now and again to help the payroll. But here we go. I would say Josh Allen interception. Patrick Mahomes over pass attempts. Josh Allen over pass attempts. I believe those both get home. We're gonna go ahead and go official. Kansas City Chiefs +3. You have to buy the half point. If you got +3, I'd buy the half point to get it to +3.5. You're gonna do a parlay. You're gonna be on a Buccaneers parlay. You're gonna be on the Buccaneers parlay +6. You're gonna be on the Kansas City Chiefs +3.5. Couldn't tell you no to the money line, right? I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, and I'm not just playing the opposite side here because I'm, trying to do the reverse psychology thing. I know all about it. I don't feel good about it. That's what's going on here. So we will see. Best of luck to all of you out there. Best of luck for your bets today. Hopefully I can get you some cash. If I can get you some cash, come back, watch again. Let's see if we can get these bucks back for what they took from us. Let's get some coin later.